Hey guys, in one of my Battleground videos I talked about these two concepts I'm going to talk to you about now, but I didn't cover them in as much depth as I wanted to, so in this clip I'm going to briefly explain it. Briefly, I hope. Okay, so here we go. The first thing is, when you're in Capture the Flag map and you go down for that initial big team fight, that fight is more important than you might think, because if you win that fight, whoever wins that fight basically like controls the middle, at least for that segment of the game. And why is that significant? Is because when the flag carrier then comes out, he or she's gonna have like a relatively easy time to make it across to your base. They're not gonna meet much resistance. Like, you might get one rogue or like two people or whatever, but you can easily deal with that. So you're already in control. And then if you've wiped them, where do they res? All at the graveyard. So their movements are so predictable. They're all gonna jump down from the little graveyard place, and then you can kinda like zone them and keep them in that box away from their flag carrier, if they have a flag carrier, who's gonna come wanting their support. So already you've kind of like messed them up, so that's how important that is. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about is, okay, so let's say that your team has the flag, and so does the enemy team. But let's say like almost your whole team decides to escort and defend your flag guy. Now when you do that, you give the enemy so much freedom to send 9 of their 10 players to fight your flag guy. Now, this is important as well. You might think that, oh, but 9 vs 9, that's pretty good, right? So no problem, eh? No. Wrong, because just because it's a 9 vs 9 doesn't mean you can instantly wipe them or CC 9 of people at once. 9 people means that 9 people can focus fire your flag carrier down with like so much ease, like a little bit of CC chucked onto your healers for even a few seconds, and then he or she, your flag carrier, could definitely die. Meanwhile though, the other flag carrier is eating lobster while eating his or her Facebook status, while getting a massage, while like trying to invent a cheeseburger out of sand and paper, because there's zero pressure on that flag carrier. You put yourself at a massive disadvantage when you delay your offense, when you delay your attack. And also, even if you're really fast, but if you don't have the numbers, if you don't attack in a decent number, then it's also like not good enough. So my advice is attack early, attack their flag carrier early, and attack in decent numbers. When you attack their flag carrier, you pressure him or her, and you force the enemy team to play defensive. And whoever plays more defensive, in my opinion, usually loses, because now some of their attackers will be faced with a little moral dilemma. They'll be like, oh no, should I go and defend our FC, or should I go attack their flag carrier? So some of them will go back to defend, then boom, they're finished, because your flag carrier can now go have a bubble bath and get a free cap, because when you guys like mass defend, or like too many of you put emphasis on defending instead of attacking, that's a problem. Like, try to attack, the sooner the better. When you attacking is defending, that's another thing I talked about in another video. But yeah, you put pressure on them, they're going to be forced to play defensive by default, because you might have put too much pressure on their flag carrier already that they have to get people defending. You've like checkmated them, they can't do anything about it. So get into a more like attacky mentality. So yeah. Thank you for listening to my little rant, and yeah, I hope that's helped make it more clear. Yes, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.